This place is rather gloomy.
Why don't you lighten the mood for us while we're here then?
I'll see what I can do.
Okay. It's kind of wild that I don't have... Yeah. Northernmost reaches of a wasteland to the north of an abandoned village. Wasteland is such a specific term. Is there nothing here?
Yeah, if only I were a cat.
Oh, you know what? I think I remember what was back here. I think somebody needed healing back here. That's what that was. I think somebody was hurt. Okay. What was in this room? Maybe just the activation for the elevator? Hmm. Sort of suspicious of every little corner of the map now as
Looks
I'm
like
looking
we
at
made
it.
it here in one piece.
Where I'm like, did I like never come down here somehow? Some areas were actually, if I remember right, blocked off here in Sisloden. Did I never run around and explore here? No, I feel like I talked to some of these people. I'm surprised there's like nothing to find on this map. I'm gonna check something really quick. Hey Fuzzy, how's it going? Oh, there's like people in here. I'm just looking for stuff. What's on the ground in there? Did I never come back down here after I beat this guy? Oh. I guess not. No, they were all open. Interesting. Okay. Just anything that stands out to me. Mostly just observing. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, that's interesting. Hmm. Yeah, I'm holding off on the death chicken for... I'm gonna test something here in a second. I'm literally checking, I'm scanning these entries for one specific keyword, and I'm not finding it. So... except for right here.
Finally. If only we could have flown with the wind to get here faster.
Oops.
Flag assault!
Scream bathed in blood, rending you a
This
bloody
one's mine.
howling!
Nice. No scratches on my shield or my armor.
Hey, isn't that what we've been trying to find?
This? Okay.
I wonder if we can use this.
Is this the so-called legendary instrument?
Actually, I think it's one of the freight train parts that I was using for a sword.
I'm sure anything will be fine. We should take it.
Holy shit. I am so confused right now. I'm so confused. What the fuck?
Always good to be back in familiar territory.
I'm so confused. So, hold on. Huh.
I'm not so sure.
I gather you finally solved the riddles?
How's this?
We found this thing, if that's what you mean. Oh, splendid. I knew you were all up to the challenge. That is indeed the legendary instrument that slumbers in these lands. It's just the rod that I was using. No, amigo, it is a rod that you were destined to use. And with her you shall perform feats that shall inspire legends.
I see.
So that really was the instrument we were after? So you're saying I should fight with this thing? Take her and go forth into the wild. Achieve your grand destiny that you were born to fulfill.
Great!
Alright, if you insist. It's got a unique curvature to it, but I'm sure I'll get used to it fighting with it over time. Pardon me? I'll have to learn all of its unique bends by heart. I might even have to change what parts I use depending on if I'm attacking or defending. Hold on, are you perchance being serious? Oh, this has been such a fun little excursion, truly. Your words have truly been inspirational to all of us here. You should work at my palace. Nay, would you consider joining us on our journey and hearing Alphen's beautiful music for yourself? Yeah, you should come along with us. If there are any other legendary instruments out there, I'd definitely like to know.
Hmm?
I sincerely appreciate the offer. However, alas, I must go where the wind blows. I shall leave it up to you to bear witness to the legends that are sure to unfold with the instrument in his
Agreed.
hand. Very well, then I shall keep watch over his every movement so as to ensure that I do not miss history in the
Dohalim.
making. I'm going to have to come up with a way to fight that takes advantage of this thing. Dohalim, would you mind helping me out with that? Certainly, as you well know, I'm quite proficient in fighting with rods and staves. Staves. Don't do anything with her that I wouldn't do, and with that I shall be off until we meet again. Adios. Farewell, my friend. Be safe. God, I hope we don't meet again. God, I hope we don't meet again. I don't know. I don't remember. Like,
I see you've got your relics all lined up again. What are you doing? Huh? They're so bright now.
Oh, it's you two. I was merely tending to my collection.
Don't you think you've polished them enough by now?
You take better care of your relics than you do yourself.
I try to take good care of them. However, no matter how much work I put in, they refuse to respond.
I thought you could hear their voices somehow.
I can, but that's all I can do with them. I can't actually engage in conversation with them. Not yet.
What are they saying? Did they really want you to polish them that much?
You're right. I was so enraptured with them, I may have selfishly failed to consider their own wishes. I must open my mind and sincerely engage with them in earnest.
He never gets tired of his relics, does he?
Nope. It is interesting to look at them when they're all lined up together like this, though. Like how these two have similar designs. It makes me wonder if they were made in the same period.
An excellent observation. Yes, I too suspect they're somehow intimately related as well.
I don't see what you two are talking about at all.
What's this? Why, that smear wasn't there previously. Could it be responding to my voice at long last? It's rather viscous and has a distinct aroma to it.
Ugh, Hootle! These relics are no place for you to do your business! Whew! I'm serious! These are priceless pieces of history!
Come on, Dohalim. Let's go wash your hands before you catch anything weird.
I can't believe you managed to shoo off that irritating bard.
Had we brought him along, it would have livened up our journey considerably.
You know, maybe you're right. We could have hit it off.
Yeah, and the two of you could be irritating together.
I didn't even put together that. I don't actually know what has happened. I don't know. All I know is I did the quest. So I don't really care beyond that. Yeah, that quest sucked. I'm still like trying to wrap my mind around what it was that I was supposed to understand. Because I'll be honest, the only reason I made any progress on it is because I took it hyper literally. Fuck even is it? Quivering candles. There it is. The mysterious pair. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't know what just happened. I don't know why it just happened. I was under the distinct impression I would need to find 3 items. That doesn't seem to have been the case. I don't think. But this is the only one where I was like, the specificity of it mentioning a wasteland and being to the north of an abandoned village and then northernmost reaches, I was like, that's 3 really specific directions. Like, this thing is just vague as fuck. Just beyond the hovels in a land shrouded by sand and stone. Don't know what that's supposed to imply. It lies dormant at the back of a narrow road to the west, whereupon an ancient tower stands. Okay, there's like 2 spots that have towers that are at the west of roads. One of them has a giant death chicken at the top of it, so that one's... Yeah, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I think I overthought it a lot because all you need is this. All you need is this, and to take it hyper literally. Because then when you actually look at the map for the Iglia Wastes, which obviously wasteland, this chunk here, these little squares on the map, those are ruined houses. There was like a village in this area. So if you go to the north and then to the northernmost reach, that's where it was. Utterly baffling. Just pray for me that there are no new envelopes from that fucker anywhere else. Okay. There aren't. I'm just gonna go to the starship now.
We finally made it. Judging by the stench, I'd say the animals at the ranch are all grown now.
I wouldn't sell it anyway. It's probably worth dog shit. Oh, is it even sellable? You can't even sell it. No idea. All right, let's see what happens.
Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that. You're going to jinx us.
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
I like it. Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but... well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
Okay, people. We have 2 goals. First, we need to get to Lenegis and make the Renans finally leave Dana alone. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorns and find a way to save her. Sound good? All right, then let's go.
Am I excited about going to space? No, not particularly. Holy shit, that thing's fast. God damn. We are definitely in space.
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shion? You seem a little different.
Different? Like in a bad way different?
No, not at all. You seem more driven lately, like you found a zest for life. It suits you.
I'm in space. Shion's life is zesty. Little spot to eat. Okay. Donald. Oh, this is probably where we come and go from. And then we got a little dippity doo dah here. I mean, we just got an FMV like not that long ago.
You okay? Feeling airsick?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all. These starships are a remarkably smooth ride, all things considered. Nothing like being at sea, thank goodness.
Glad to hear it. That device there caught your eye, huh?
I was just wondering what it is. It looks big enough to fit a person inside of it.
It's a healing pod. It fixes injuries and illnesses.
Oh, you don't say. That should definitely come in handy if any of us get injured while we're down there. Alphen? Was it something I said?
No, I was just thinking back to when I escaped Lenegis, that's all. What with the ceremony and losing control, I was a total mess. Naori laid me inside here.
So, You're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? Would that mean you were inside for 300 years?
Yes, it sounds crazy, I know. But don't even ask me why I stayed asleep all that time.
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right. But still, whether you meant to or not, I sure am glad that it's this century that you finally woke up in.
What do you mean?
With the amount of fighting we've done, we would have never made it this far without you. And not only that, but... Alphen, can you recall back to what it is that I said to you? Back when we left Menancia? About the dream of coexistence, and needing to learn what it entailed?
Of course. That's why you came with us, right? To learn what you couldn't at home.
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was living was a lie. But at the same time, I also felt really compelled to fulfill my brother's wishes. I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't for him. It's for people now, and those still to come. The world's bigger than just Menancia. My dream is for all Dahnans, wherever they might be, to be free. If I've learned anything on this journey, it's that. And the one who brought me along was you, Alphen. I'll forever be grateful to you.
Well, we're not out of this forest just yet. You should probably save your thanks. At least, until we've dealt with the Red Woman.
I know. But whatever we find when we get down there, I'm through looking the other way.
Kisara.
Probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh? Let's take things one step at a time.
I could probably handle a 300-year nap without needing to pee that bad. It'd probably be fine. I wouldn't be too worried about it.
Hey, Alphen, listen to this! So Law and I were just talking and...
Hey, shut up!
What's got Law all flustered?
Only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after all that fuss he made about naming the ship, too.
I would wake up and still be tired. That is
I never
correct.
said I was scared. I just think
Dead
it's,
ass.
you know, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through space in a glorified tin can. That's all.
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do. I don't think there's anything strange about it.
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem then.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can trust Renan technology. It got me to Dana in one piece, remember?
Oh, that's a good point. If you think so, Alphen, it must be okay. Don't you agree, Law?
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Alphen. It's just wrong, okay?
Technology bad, punching rocks good. Me only understand punch things. Me Law.
Is something wrong?
No. I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years, that's all.
You mean since you became a lord and left Lenegis? I guess even someone like you can get homesick, huh?
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. Tell me, though, you too have a history with Lenegis. A traumatic one, no less. This trip will probably mean facing up to some difficult emotions. Doesn't that frighten you?
Well, it is a place where I took the lives of countless people. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. But I can't keep running forever. The past is what it is. There's no changing that. But the future's what we make it.
I see.
Dohalim?
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. We have more pressing matters to address. Come back and speak to me when you finish looking around the ship.
Okay. Oh, okay. Was a little stuck there somehow.
We'll be going to Lenegis soon.
This must feel like a homecoming of sorts to you, huh? What was life on Lenegis like back then? You know, before you came to Dana.
Let's just say, I don't have many happy memories. I've had thorns my whole life, for as long as I can remember. They called it treatment, but in truth, they were just using me as a guinea pig for their research.
You mean, they experimented on you?
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and prodded me, trying to figure out what triggered my thorns or changed the form they took. Day in and day out, every single day, one test after another. I'm still surprised they didn't try to dissect me. The look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How could I forget it? Reeling from the pain, like I was a monster or something. Some existence, huh? A blight on any I touched, helplessly complicit in their pain. I thought things couldn't get any worse, but then they did. I started to have nightmares, visions of the coming apocalypse. Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as touch another soul. Loneliness was my best friend. Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge that one day I'd be swallowed up by oblivion. And that's when it hit me. If I was going to die, then it should mean something. If I have to sacrifice myself to save the world, so be it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you relive that.
Too late.
No, it's fine. I'm in a much better place now.
You say it's your destiny to die so that others can live. But why not the other way around? Why shouldn't we be the ones dying to save you?
Are you crazy? Why would you sacrifice your life for...
That's exactly my point. Why should you have to give up your life just because you drew the short straw in the destiny stakes? How is that even right?
Wow, what a fucking...
It's that logic that's used to justify slavery.
What a fucking
as if some of us
reversal.
were just meant to be sacrificed.
Damn.
This struggle was never about saving only ourselves. But that doesn't mean we have to give up our own lives to save everyone else's either. If we're doing this to protect people, if we're doing this to save the world from destruction, then that has to include saving each other as well.
A world free of sacrifice. That's what you've been fighting for all along, isn't it?
Not just me. We're in this together, remember? This fight is yours too, Shion. If we're going to win, everyone has to win. There can be no room for losers in this fight. Now I see it. The true nature of our struggle.
A victory without losers. But that means that a Dahnan victory over Rena can't be the end. Do you think we can pull it off?
You bet we can pull it off. We have to. It's the only hope we have of things ever changing.
Yeah, you're right. No one's ever changed the future without aiming for the stars. We can do this. Together.
Camera brightness was fucked up. Dude, the Uno reverse from Alphen there, very good. Excellently done. Alright, Dohalim, what's the status, buddy? Oh, you landed
Is
soon?
everyone about ready? We'll soon be making preparations to land.
Before we do that, just what exactly should we expect when we get down there?
Kisara has a point. Now that I think of it, I don't know the first thing about Lenegis.
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last there, and they didn't exactly give me the grand tour.
Very well. First and foremost, Lenegis was the base of operations in charge of the crown contest on Dahna. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its own independent society. Its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual's astral arts carries great weight.
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right? So people's positions are fixed at birth.
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. But yes, that's basically the gist. As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence, and those lineages are treated as nobility.
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right to descend to Dana even if they wanted to. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renan ladder is considered superior to being a Danan. Keep that in mind down there.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the pecking order, right? What about you, Shion?
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts. You really need to ask?
Fair point.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns. They weren't exactly an invitation to high society.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking. Life's less complicated that way.
Jeez, give backhanded compliments much?
Wait a second. Are you? He is! Law's blushing!
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like arts is discrimination at its worst. As if such simplistic criteria could ever be a measure of someone's worth.
So this Red Woman, are we expecting to find her on Lenegis?
I would wager so. Lenegis is too deeply involved in all this to discard the possibility. Chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma being stolen from us in Pelegion.
If the Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dana, we need to take it back at all costs.
That Red Woman's got a lot to answer for. Just as well I've got a ton of questions.
We're about to land. The descent could be a little bumpy, so brace yourselves.
If there are clues about your thorns out there, Shion, we'll find them.
All right. Meow. Made it. Everything's totally fine.
There's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegis's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
Surely somebody.
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I will not.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
I hope we do. We need EXP. How
So
dare
now
you,
what?
Rinwell?
We've come
11
all
levels
this way on a
worth.
hunch that this Red Woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the Sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Okay, that's pretty straightforward.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a Sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have required an immense source of power.
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which case...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normally out of bounds. Is that it?
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
Yep, I think we do.
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone. Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renans. A capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to live, no less. Who knows what we'll find on the other side?
Thinking about what could be lurking out here is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
For such a loudmouth, you sure can be a worrywart at times.
Oh, I'm sorry. How stupid of me for wanting us to stay safe.
Would you two children stop squabbling? Or do you want everyone to know we're here?
So how many Renans actually live in this place?
I couldn't tell you exactly, though not as many as you might expect. Machines and Zeugles take care of most of the city's basic functions.
There's Zeugles out here too, huh? Sounds like we can't afford to let our guard down after all.
Of course not, Alphen. Don't be silly. So I could have just come here like, you know, hours ago and we can probably just leave and go right back. Yep. Well, that's okay. I'm still glad I did what I did. Also, I did remember while we were watching all these cutscenes, I didn't actually look at what the artifact effect of... The quivering candles are a reference to the Genji and the Heike clans? I'm not actually familiar with that. But yeah, that one appears to be increase the amount of ore acquired from mining points, which, you know, pretty good, you could say. Say it's pretty good. Probably. Wouldn't have minded having that a while ago. How many do we have? 10 out of 23? Alright. Infiltrate Inner Lenegus. Alright. You got it. Oh, this place looks lovely. So beautiful. So regal. So radiant. Shocking amount of fire.
What in the world?
This being Renan territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegus changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
Maybe they don't care, or maybe they
I would think
couldn't
the citizens
care.
themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Crown
Someone
contest
you know?
over.
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself, okay, Do?
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the Wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danans poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two. The Danans among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if people freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
What are we, dogs?
What could be so important? It's worth destroying people's livelihoods and homes in the process. It's just... unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks. Someone's got an awful lot of questions to answer.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for? Surely they can't be using all that energy for the crown contest.
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be sufficient. Not while we still don't know what their endgame is.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get moving!
You heard him. You don't have time to stop and chat. Let's move.
The only visual distinction that we've been told is that when Renans cast astral arts, their eyes glow blue, and that they are of the two races, they are the ones that can innately cast astral arts. Those are the only differences that we've been told about. Visually speaking, they have actually been explicit about the fact that there are no other identifying traits. I think at this point, likely the reason he said anything is probably just because we're dressed in not what appears to be the standard Renan garb. I believe that if you were to hazard a guess, it's not like... Yeah, until we could blend in a little bit better as far as, like... I think that for the most, like, look at what all these people... They're all wearing white, you see that? So I think that's probably more of it, the situation than anything.
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even made with people living here in mind?
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? They must have designed it to transform like this. But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into consideration. to avoid all this chaos.
Ordinarily, yes. You'd think so. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home, nothing more. No one knew about
I mean, I'm talking about his
all this.
default costume.
It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an
Not the silly
afterthought.
shit I have him
But
wearing.
if so, to what exactly?
Sorry. That probably sounded weird, huh?
Not at all. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to help you notice what you've been missing all along. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Yeah, you're right, Shion. I'm sure we will.
Straubs. Oh. Look at that.
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zeugles have stopped heeding our commands.
Of course they have.
Whatever did we do to deserve this?
Of course they have.
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know. We have no choice but to grin and bear it. But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris? I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
As your lordship wishes. First Lenegis mutates beyond recognition, now this unexpected visit. The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed. The Ilkaris House has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Yeah, again, like, the way that they talk, the way that they dress, I don't think it's that difficult to imagine that they could identify somebody who stuck out for those reasons without them explicitly looking at, like, an entirely different humanoid race, you know what I mean? I got a fancy parfait
Everything
recipe
will
for
be
that
okay
shit.
now.
Let's go, dude.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
This place got absolutely fucked up, you know? Which, I'll be honest, I kind of wasn't expecting to get here and find it a complete wreck. For whatever reason, it was not, just didn't expect
Your
that.
lordship. Oh, what a great honor it is to finally meet you. I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I returned. I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed all in red. Have you seen anyone of that description?
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that. I imagine she'd stand out somewhat, too.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
The Reddens can't
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise. Why do you want to find her anyway?
We've already established this.
Never mind. Forget I asked. Sorry to take up your time.
We just need to get to the Forbidden Zone. No Renan is going to claim that they've seen this person.
Is everything okay? You look a little lost.
Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home, is all. I was just about to make my umpteenth attempt at a new route.
I was hoping to head this way myself. The situation is a real pain, huh?
I suppose the Sovereign knows best. I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so long before I outstay my welcome. I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dana competing in the crown contest.
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful if you could tell us.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters, but I've no way of knowing for sure.
It's worth investigating, at least. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks safe, I'll come and let you know.
You'd really do that for me? A lord troubling himself for someone of my lowly status?
Our lot in life is of little consequence. We are both Renan, first and foremost.
Oh, why yes, my lord. Thank you.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you think?
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to the city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent, which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth, that Lenegis is under some kind of control.
Given everything that's happened to their city, the people here seem weirdly okay with it all.
Yeah, that one guy even said Zoogle had stopped listening to him. If that's true, these people are in big trouble.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been conditioned. Their belief runs deep. Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, it's all part of the Sovereign's grand plan.
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who is this person ruling over Lenegis?
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Lenegis.
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least the same size as Dana? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Lenegis alone would be difficult enough.
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's total authority is as natural as night turning to day. Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of how Rena itself is. Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met or crossed paths with, or even heard of someone who's actually made a visit to the homeland?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that... But no, surely not. Can it really be that no citizen of Lenegis has ever been there?
Hold up, what are you getting at, Dohalim?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the Sovereign, that is.
Weird.
But what about trade and communication? There's got to be a flow back and forth, surely.
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly. It could be a one-way street.
How strange.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, can he really rule directly over Lenegis from so far away?
Does seem
What if
kind
something
of
were to
odd.
happen to the city, like now?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? Just before the ceremony. But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler. So which one is it?
Whoever wins the crown contest
curious.
inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all of Rena and Lenegis. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign. Though, it would appear that the current ruler has gone silent.
Who you should
As
know
for
the
how
name
Volron
of.
factors into all this. At this point, I no longer know what to believe.
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. No, not just became, I was forced to. Me, a Dahnan. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made sovereign for the same reason? Because of that ceremony?
I can't say for sure, but it certainly sounds like it.
But that would mean that 2 Sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule, and the other for ceremonial purposes. We never did see Volron's body back in Ganath Haros. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time? Could that be what's causing all this strange activity here?
Oh, that would
Wait
be
a
kind of
second.
wild.
You don't think Volron and the Red Woman are working together, do you? The ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma. The same one that the Red Woman stole.
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And unless there's another one out there aside from me...
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that it seems will remain unanswered until we can establish the Sovereign's identity.
But yeah,
if the
that's
Forbidden
so
Zone really
interesting.
is off limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a place as any to start. For the sake of liberating Dana, too.
Then it's decided. That's where we need to go.
One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section of the city. It could point us in the right direction. Let's go find it.
It's like right around the corner, Rinwell. It's not gonna take long to find. It's right there. You know, it's definitely noteworthy to me that neither Shion nor Dohalim can tell us who the previous sovereign or who the current sovereign is, because by everything we know, they would be the previous crown contest winner and be a lord. That at least Dohalim, you would think, with the way that nobility works in the society, would have been passingly familiar with at least some, if not all, of the previous lords who went down to compete in the last crown contest. So the fact that he doesn't even have any guess or speculation as to who the current sovereign is seems pretty fucking suspicious, doesn't it? Oh wait, I didn't get to do my skit.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do. I mean, there's sovereigns up on the Renan homeworld, and all their lords were sent to Dana.
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Only current acting lords have power. Renan society is quite strict about such matters.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis now. Balsif, Ganabelt, Almadria, and Volron. Now that I think of it, Aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know. But seeing Renans in their own city, going about their day-to-day lives, it gets you thinking.
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah, a little.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the locals? Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana, which means they should be more inclined to talk to us.
Oh, I just popped a quest.
I didn't realize Renans oppressed their own kind, too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind. Am I the only one who finds that strange?
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard yourself, do you not?
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher than any Danan city we visited. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
What if she's not here? What if it turns out we're looking in the wrong place entirely?
It's still too early to say anything for sure.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
No trolling allowed, Kisara. No trolling allowed. Alright, let's just run around and talk to these people really quick, I guess. If they're just gonna put the dots on my map right here, right now. Maybe I'll get another recipe pulled for it or something. Hey dude, what's up? Let's talk fast. To think anyone would try to tear me away from House of Valkyris?
What?
What do you want? Don't tell me you work for Lord Dohalim with that dreadful Lord Almadria, do you? You don't? Well, don't scare me like that. To answer your question, I come from a family that has served House of Valkyris for generations. Indeed, I'm doing all I can to support Lord Gandabaut behind the scenes so that he might emerge victorious. Many think him to be a cruel man, but I insist they're utterly mistaken. Though I won't deny he can be strict, he puts Rena's interests front and center like no one else. Why he advocates that rather than stay confined to Lenegis, we should get on with colonizing Dana and expand our horizons. That way, we will become masters of both worlds and overturn our current minority status on Dana's surface. That is why he seeks to become our next sovereign. Tell me, is there a greater or more noble ambition than that? I think not. It is a pursuit of power for the advancement of all our kind. It is what makes him an exemplary lord, a model above all others. Though I was unable to accompany him myself, my two sons have been blessed with the honor of joining him on the surface. As their father, it fills me with endless pride.
Gandabaut was so horrible to people, yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabeld also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Danans?
Yeah, rip his sons, probably. Lord Delaney returned, and I see you've brought your aides with you. Do you remember who I am, my lord? Surely you must, yes. Not only do I support House Lucaris, but more specifically his lordship personally. So much so I've been trying to share my appreciation of his lordship to anyone who will listen. In fact, I was planning to publish my extensive writings on the subject through this very terminal for all to read and enjoy. But since the lines appear to be cut due to the recent tumult, I've been unable to upload them. I know, since you're all here, I'll just read them aloud. Ahem. There exists a most handsome man, a man who radiates beauty, whose every word, every syllable is divine poetry. He hails from the famed House Lucaris, and his name, Lord Dohalim. Music is his passion, the arts his great love. The scores of boorish, uncouth men of this land cannot begin to comprehend compared to his magnificence. So refined and majestic is his posture, why the mere thought of it brings me to ecstasy. Once he becomes our sovereign, Rena shall bloom anew, ushering in a new era of prosperity for our grand civilization. Until that glorious day comes, I shall forever be praying for his victory, morning, noon, and night. What do you think, my lord? I poured my whole heart into it, hoping to capture your essence. Wait, I forgot to mention anything about his lordship's love for collecting things. I must take this time while the lines are down to append it. Only then will my masterpiece be complete.
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
You want to know which lord I support? Why? Are you out canvassing for someone? I'm with His Excellency Erwulsi Teldilis. You probably know him better as Lord Balsac. I know a lot of people consider him to be a giant brute. Believe me, I realize he can be an aggressive man. What those people don't realize is how much he looks after the members of his house. It's fair to say that House Teldilis doesn't enjoy much esteem. Those of us who serve it will be the first to admit that. But His Excellency always stands up against any who would mean us harm. Of that we can be sure. His efforts in the crown contest aren't only for his family, but to improve the standing of each and every member of his house.
Yes!
I owe so much to His Excellency. I could never dream of serving any other lord. Not even one whose name isn't
Falstaff had it in him
Balsac.
to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he wanted to protect.
Alright, moving on. Oh, moving on. Going to the next area, because we're moving on. Residential zone number 4.
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed, the effects of Lenegis's transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, this area was simply luckier.
Let's see what you say.
Pardon me.
This area falls under the sole jurisdiction of House Canaris. I must ask you to depart at once. Surely you don't claim to be ignorant of our famed house, ruled over by the esteemed Lord Almadria. If so, I urge you to listen well. In fact, I bid you listen carefully regardless. Have you ever noticed how in the history of Lenegis only a few women lords have emerged to compete in the crown contest? Many have theories as to why this might be, but Lord Almadria quashed the doubts of any naysayers through sheer might. In fact, not only did she usurp her father and previous family masters, she also removed her older brother to claim the seat for herself. She is a woman who stops at nothing to get what she wants, who gives her enemies nary the slightest opening to strike. Truly, Lord Almadria is a woman of talent. No one in all Rena better exemplifies the virtues of our nation's meritocracy. Soon the age of a glorious woman sovereign reigning over Lenegis shall be upon us at last.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right, too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
What's going on here, boys? Okay. Okay. Yoink. Only one left.
Ridiculous.
How loathsome. Oh, I was just reading about Volron. Can I help you?
Okay.
I was always an ardent supporter of Lord Urwagel. Lord Urwagel Hildress. Very unfortunate name. Were it not for his sudden death down on the surface, I likely still would be. In my eyes, Lord Urwagel is the true Water Lord. I don't believe for a second that he perished in some accident like they say. As for how Volron runs Ganatharos, don't get me started. I hear he enslaves not only Danans, but even his fellow Renans. We may live in a society where to the victor go the spoils, but his actions go against what we as a people stand for. Besides, just what sort of family line is this House Ignaceri of his anyway? I'd never heard of it until he came along, which means they must be among the lowest dregs of society. That such an ignoble lineage could suddenly produce an astral artist capable of ascending to lordship is unheard of. None of it makes any sense, not to mention all of the upheaval around here of late. What is happening to our people?
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganatharos changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Rena, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you, because we're threats to Rena.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too. Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Danon doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Shion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust. As a fellow human being above all else.
Yatta! Easy SP grape gel for free. Oh.
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfried Milgras, the former lord of Cyslodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfried whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegis?
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the motherland, sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both. Though we are Renan by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Core existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
I'm glad somebody put together the pieces that I also already put together.
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still... kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
That's probably fine. Don't ignore that. Don't worry about that. Surely that wasn't
I
important.
apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
Get him! Nuke that Zoogle. Get his ass.
place is beautiful.
Yeah, it must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagin. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagin. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagin and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagin and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagin had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagin was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait, don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less. She would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty, instead I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Xion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right. Alphen.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
I see a medic and supply officer over there.
Okay.
If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
All right. Like that for us. All right, let's go do it. I need food again, so it's perfect timing. Fast travel point even. All right, what do you got? Oh, diamond stuff that's all worse than what I have. Saving money, let's go. Heavy treats are actually very cost effective, surprisingly. I guess that's actually true for apple to peach as well, but not the other ones. Oh shit. Got new weapons. Got the pink protector. And the Scutum Rain. Scutum? Scutum Rene? This thing's way better. But I'm gonna check the Gargantua bones. So that needs Dark Mane. Okay, that's an easy sell for me. That thing's way good. Holy shoot. Okay, so that's another drain on the bones. We're at 14 out of 23. That should be fine. Look at that thing. More dark mains. I can make that in the interim. Oh my god, look at that. Oh my god. Oh my god. And dark mains for that as well. Oh, that's a downgrade. Holy shit. Wait. Both of those are downgrades. Damn. Alright, well. I'll make this for the sake of it, I guess. But it's garbage. I ran out of money. Oh god, they're so expensive. Oh, fuck me. Oh no. I'll sell some boss fish. We're good.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
Let's check out my new recipe. Where is it? Fancy Parfait. Elemental attack up. Finally! Finally! I think I'm gonna run... the grilled rat pig, though. I want combat points. It's either that or we do like boosted ore or rare ore. But I haven't found any ore nodes, so I'm not doing that. I don't care about EXP. Yeah, combat points.
This shall suffice. Please, everyone, have as much as you like.
All right, moving on. Next area. Enemies. Maybe. They look ferocious. Oh, this is a maintenance passageway,
Damn it.
huh?
Lenegis soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Nah, it's fine. We're fine. They're level 44. They're about to get absolutely obliterated. Hold on. I'm going to put on as many drop rate increasing items as I can. Sure, fuck it. I think I only have the 3 or 4. All right, then I'm just gonna throw on. All my buff bangles have CP cost minus 10%, huh? That's not that helpful to me. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Run this Garnet. That's fine. Drop rate up.
So much for them not wanting to fight.
Oh, I am Lord Dohalim of Elden Menancia. I command you.
The rest of the city must be erased.
No.
Oh.
Have they been brainwashed?
Oh.
Brainwashed or not. If they want to fight, they got one.
This is no.
Down on the ground. Use its weak point to take it down.
All together, everyone.
Heal my weary companion.
Won't save you. Do it.
Light burst forth.
Radiant Genesis!
Too slow. Going in. Release.
This one's mine.
Nothing gets by me. Elusive beauty. You can use all right. Let me out. Say.
Blow them away.
Too slow. Look sharp. Deny. Inferno Flag.
We're not finished. Demon Fang. Demon Fang.
All yours, Kisara.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Kind of glad that I'm a higher level than these fuckers because
Those soldiers seem
I
different
hate
from the
fighting these
citizens
guys
we've
that
come
level.
across so far.
they suck.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
Oh, shit. Oh, I just realized. We're gonna make money off these bad boys. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, we got some green boys. Do you guys happen to have mains that I could use for a specific purpose? Oh, they're dark element, huh?
Guardian Field! All right, let me at him.
Here goes! Go illuminate the dark! These ones can run rings around us!
The power of... All right, let me at him. All right, let me at him.
I'll be saving this one!
I'll smash you!
Far beyond the
That'll bring you down.
Too fast!
Stand
Ready
back.
now.
I'll trip it up.
Talon Hurricane!
I can sleep now!
Far enough! Flag Assault! Tectonic Blade!
No further!
Look sharp!
Demon Fang!
Here goes! Crumble!
Prepare to be coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Flag Assault!
This one's all mine!
Lightning Orb! More where that came from! The water dance, immortal droplet!
We can really make weapons with this?
Yep, dark mains. We in there. I don't really want to fight this big ugly motherfucker, but
Retreat if you know
he doesn't have a core.
what's good for you.
Oh shit.
Eat this!
Slash
I think I'll pass on the hand.
Armor won't save you!
Denied! Oh, switch off!
Why? Why? Dohalim, listen to me.
Inferno Punch! Stalagmite!
Oh, too shy to come up. This one's mine.
Shield
Ready!
No further!
Here goes! Come on! You have
Smash you!
Oh, too shy to come over? Here, let me help.
Waters of creation.
Why do I not have... What the fuck happened? Did I do something really dumb?
How about this?
Dance, immortal droplet.
Switch to offense.
Tidal wave.
Oh, too shy to come over? I'm ready.
Not done
Far enough. How about this?
Thanks to lightning condemn.
Maximum burn.
Thunderblade. Illuminate the dark. Come forth, holy
Oh,
No further!
A wailing fancy of lightning.
here goes.
Closer.
I'll take you all on. Ha! Flare Demolisher.
Here's a healing arc.
Shattering
First aid.
Attack time!
The water
Shield and face.
Dance, immortal droplet.
Charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop. How about this?
Flame inside me, yours to be let free.
Flag Soul. Here goes.
Let the marksman handle this.
Rising Wyvern!
Alphen, this ends now.
Consider yourself finished.
Fuck that thing, huh?
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Retreat if you know what's good for you. No further! Dragon shout!
Oh,
That may prove a thorn in our side.
bring him down.
We need to change the party when we get out of this fight.
Split it open! Be my guest. I owe you one. An astral
That's like you. Water.
Shut him down.
Now we're never Here's evil.
Can't get out of this.
Freeze.
God damn it, Dohalim. Get the fuck out of the party.
Rising Wyvern! We're not finished! Soaring light spear!
Switch to
Lightning
offense.
condemned.
Slack kill.
You're mine!
The waters of creation.
Going in.
Dance now. Go for it.
Prepare to crumble. You're open. Going in.
Prepare to be seized!
How about this? Slag assault. This one.
Take this!
Plenty
If
left.
it's in the sky, it's mine.
Shield and mace. Where are you going?
Fire! Ignore!
Swing now. Get toasty.
Bird strike!
It's weakened.
I'm going.
This ends!
Healing.
Quite necessary when creating weaponry.
Shortcake recipe. Let's go. Dude, there are a lot of mean as fuck Zoogles in this place, huh?
They really don't give up, do they?
Now you'll learn!
Explosion! Far enough!
Sonic
Burning strike!
Damn it, dang it!
Lunar arc!
Now we're not.
Searing flame!
Finish it!
Neon, astral energy, full throttle! Gotcha! Here
Rising
goes!
Wyvern!
This
You
one's
seem
mine!
scary to me.
Do it! First!
Nice. No scratches on my shield or my armor.
Grab that, and we go. Oh, we do go to the left.
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone...
That's far enough!
Lightning!
Double
Downfall!
Demon Fang!
Lightning!
This one's mine!
Demon Fang!
Look sharp!
Oh, do you have to be in melee for this to hit? Oh, you do. Oh my god.
Freeze Lancer!
Lion Cowl!
Brutal.
Look sharp!
Hear me! I'm ready!
Incineration Ray!
Roar! Slash Soul!
Close one! Gotcha!
I
Lightning!
can handle it!
Downfall!
Far enough!
Swallow Blade!
Lunar corruption!
Prepare
I'll
to be
stop its
feared.
charge!
Thanks, Kisara!
Yours to be let free.
Slash Soul!
Annihilation!
Take this!
By the
Lion Cowl!
Here I come!
I can carve through
Rising
armor.
Wyvern!
Crescent Moon!
Explosion!
Strike!
Thunder field!
Take this!
Thunder field!
Eternal Devastation! Double Demon Fang!
Thunder field!
Can't get out of this.
Shining Supernova! Not on my watch! Close
Swordblade
one!
Alpha!
Gotcha! Explosion!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolisher! Will this help?
Ready and ready! Burn in hell!
Flaming Meteor!
Thunder field!
Look at the damage from Thunderfield when it's down.
Toasty!
1700 per tick? That's crazy.
A comfortable win.
Regenerative crystal.
Let's dispose of the trash.
Take this!
Glacial Fire!
Shining
Far
Supernova!
enough!
It's like trying to keep up with a wall!
That'll bring you down.
Here goes!
Let me
Soaring
help.
Light Spear!
Not in your dreams!
Mirage!
Shining Supernova! Lunar corruption!
On guard!
Demon Fang!
Gemini Thunder field! Radiant
Finish it!
Look!
Look at how much damage it
And I'll
does.
stop your life.
Gotcha!
Rising Wyvern!
Gotcha! Lightning! Slow down! Gotcha! Hit!
You picked the wrong fight!
Shining Supernova!
Glacial Spear.
Pierce evil!
Fucking god damn.
Nicely done.
Okay, okay. Dude, I'm getting so much ore.
Right, here goes! Engaging!
Anything in order is all mine! Flaming Meteor! Inferno Crossing! Watch for their ranged attack! Here I go!
Rising Wyvern!
Thunder field!
Rising Phoenix!
Shield and mace!
Armor won't save you.
Double Demon
Sweet
Fang!
dreams!
Demon Fang!
Double
Demon!
Close!
Meteor!
Searing flame!
This one's mine!
Thunder
Be
field!
still!
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
And it's paralyzing him so often.
Alpin! Astral energy!
Say no more.
Seems about right to me.
Cash money.
Spicy one, eh? Damn it!
Rising Lava!
Fire in the
hole! I'm the true gunslinger around here.
Yours to be let free!
Denied!
Shattering
Pieces!
Flaming meteor! Dream!
Fall back!
Now
You!
Inferno Flurry! Thanks!
And
Just what I...
soaring light spear! Vacuum blades!
Do it, Zara! Frozen!
Hammer!
Here, let me help!
Inferno cross!
Can't get her MA off.
Looks like we got them all.
Teleporter room. Oh no. I don't like the look of this room.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
Well, that's convenient.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Dahnan. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imeris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Dahnan astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegus. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Wide open thing busting time. There's the fucking heel? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. There's a heel. Oh. Fine. Fine. Let it be a dark boss. Give me a dark boss game. Cue it up so I can knock it down.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
Orb. Watch out, guys. She's got an orb. Beware the orb.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when...
We can talk later. Here it comes!
What?
Oh, it's dark. Let's go.
I've never known Faria to control Zoogles like that before.
How about with the stone that looks suspiciously
Oh,
like a
fuck, it has laser beams.
Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the Zoogles, then we get some answers.
This thing's gonna get fucking absolutely melted.
Megasonic drop!
Where are you going?
Rising water!
Oh, shit. Okay. Understood. Oh, we don't like that.
Close one.
Woo.
Flaming meteor! Eternal devastation!
Lunar arc!
Oh, fucking.
Charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you! Raining splash!
Look sharp.
Eternal devastation!
Oh god.
You may be strong, but
Okay, this thing still kicks ass, by the way.
Close one. Gotcha.
double demon fang!
Holy shit.
Enjoy the ground while you're down there.
Nice.
Double demon
Make
fang!
it rain!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! Here, let me help. I can handle
Lightning
it.
orb.
First aid!
This one's mine!
Lunar corruption.
This one's mine. By the power of water. Denied.
Double demon fang!
Well, it's time for things to get fucked up.
Right. Watch out.
Oh, you fucker.
This one's mine.
Dude, timing your dodge when it's coming out of the teleport is brutal.
I'll bring you back from Death's Abyss.
Double
Resurrection.
You're all
Double demon fang! No!
Still got some fight
Can't
left in
end
me.
here!
Healing circle.
No!
I'll bring you back from
Thanks.
Death's Abyss.
Just what I needed. Resuscitation. Lunar corruption. Lightning orb.
Time to
Jedi
die.
Aqua.
Black Skull.
Flash!
Into the shadows.
Take this!
Arch shield.
Raining
Not in
splash!
your dreams.
Eternal
Lightning orb.
devastation! Double demon fang!
Here, let me help.
Shockwave flash!
Anything in armor is all mine.
You picked the wrong fight!
Lightning orb.
Lion power.
Take this!
Radiant light.
We've got him on the run!
Don't get cocky.
Right. Still anyone's fight.
Flaming
Sword Lane
meteor.
Alpha!
Inferno
Pull
blast.
away!
It's about to strike.
Devastation! Look sharp, everyone!
Gotcha.
Ground and
Here's a healing arm.
Oh,
First aid. Denied. If it's in
Here
the
I
sky,
come.
it's mine. On guard.
Sonic thrust!
Going in.
Do it!
Will this help?
Eat dirt!
Igneous discharge. Here goes.
Double demon orb!
Take this.
Reload. Hear me. Flame of fury.
Try harder!
Whoa, what the fuck? It's got orbs? And it killed me.
Stay away from my friend!
Ground and pound.
Raining splash!
Get out of this!
Crush! Demon
I've
fang!
still got some fight left in me.
Knock it into next week.
Healing circle.
I owe you one.
Lightning orb.
Demon
Do it.
fang!
Get toasty.
Burn strike!
Man, thank goodness I had a 10 level advantage on that thing, huh?
Now it's just her!
Faria, can you hear me?
Gotta get that core away
Faria.
from her.
She's preparing another summoning.
Yeah, she's gonna do the same thing. We gotta get that core out
The
of her
art
hand.
she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more.
Dohalim.
There we go.
Forgive me.
Ooh. Ooh, you go night-night.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You? Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnagin, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones, if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzalik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almeidria. As for Tarnagin, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already passed, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on.
Okie dokie.
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone here in Lenegis is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find whoever it is, fast.
Okay, oh, well.
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. that voice?
The will of Dana's astral energy.
Okay.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
Oh. Oh, we don't like that. Oh, that's probably bad, huh? Okay.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her. It reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
Yeah.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure.
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Okay, so they didn't arrive at the
Finally,
same conclusion
we begin to understand what the
that
thorns
I
are.
have arrived
Yes.
at.
And their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way.
Are you just going to keep standing around or what?
Sorry, I'm just getting prepped over here.
I have a sneaking suspicion that the Renans... So we have sort of a dark on one world, light on another world thing going here. I don't think there's much left on Rena at all, if anything. I think they probably dealt with this Oblivion will a long time ago, and it was bad. And part of the reason why they've been harvesting the astral energy off of Dana is because not only is their planet like basically toast, that's why they moved everybody to Lenegis. I think that they have been trying with no success to find a way to beat back and defeat these thorns that are a manifestation of this Oblivion will of Rena. I think that's why they initially found Alphen as a Danon who would have had light astral energy to counteract the darkness and sort of complete this ceremony. And I think that is probably also why they've continued to do this crown contest, because they're trying to find ways to have more sovereigns to keep trying to fight back against this prevalent energy. They need to find a way. And it seems what my guesstimation of what just happened was, I wasn't going to say that ceremony was the origination of the thorns based on what I saw. What it looked like to me is that the thorns saw that they might be controlled or be defeated by the ceremony, and they sort of rebelled or fought back or gained that full level of sentience that they needed to sort of enact their will. And it looked to me like they fucked the ceremony up. And that's why Alphen goes berserk, is because the two of them are supposed to share all of the astral energy that's been accumulated in the Renis Alma, and that didn't happen because Naori's concentration was broken by the emergence of that will in that moment, and because of that, Alphen just took it all. It looked like he was glowing with all different colors, and it sounded like he was in pain, probably from just an overflowing, uncontrollable amount of astral energy. So that's kind of that's where my thought is leaning. I think the Renans know that the darkness that they harbor and the natural dark affinity that Rena has compared to Dana's natural light affinity is there. I think that they may even know that there's some sort of balance that needs to be achieved, or some sort of overtaking, they need some way to stop this darkness, and they haven't been able to do it yet. Over 300 years of trying this crown contest, reassembling enough astral energy to keep trying. I think that's why nobody knows who the sovereign is, because every time that they declare a sovereign, they're just like, oh well, another one bites the dust. queue up another 10 years. That's why they sort of just vanish. They don't exist anymore. Nobody talks about them. Nobody knows where they are. Nobody remembers them. I don't think they're surviving the continued attempts to change the sort of path that this negative energy is on at this point. Not good, by the way. Not good news for the squad here. And yeah, why they experimented on Xion, certainly, like, if they found another person who the dark will manifested even more strongly in, and were aware that the Maiden's powers is sort of one of the only things that keeps such a density in check, making sure that she has those powers, and also experimenting on her to continue to see if they can better understand it, because it may not have manifested in the time since then. They still know they have to correct the imbalance in some fashion or defeat the will in its entirety, but they haven't been able to do that. And then when they see Xion, it's manifested once again so strongly in an individual that there's an actual effect to it. It seems like that could be part of what's the driving force behind the Renan's actions this whole time. We'll see.
That vision we saw, it was as if it was meant specifically for us.
Only thing that doesn't make sense to me.
Do you still think the will of Dana might be involved somehow?
Well,
maybe
kinda
it's
still
trying
makes
to
sense.
tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave, ghost-type stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent.
Oh, I barely walked forward.
Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Xion's thorns, as well as my own past. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens.
Oh, are you kidding me? They're really gonna give me the forwarder back now?
I just need a little time first.
How are they gonna do that to me now? Bro.
We've reached our destination.
Oh, at least they're worth a fair amount of money. Ah. I didn't even find any cursed claws or chameleon hides still. That can't be the end. It just can't be. I like fucking refuse to believe that that's the end. There's no way. No blistering fangs. I'll make the carrot if I don't have to make anything else. I'm not gonna have enough money for the carrot. Fuck! I got some expensive materials I can sell though. These yeah, these are such good money. I have 71 mushrooms? How did this happen? Alright. Oops, I didn't mean to equip that. Fuck!
Have you guys checked?
You don't get carrot. Alright. I love mushrooms. I would never be picky about mushrooms. How dare you insinuate I would be picky about mushrooms? Who do you think you are? I love mushrooms. They're delicious. Actually, I got those regenerative... No, I need mysterious fragments for that. Regenerative is revival. Very good item. Well, theoretically good item. I didn't get any good ones though, so they're garbage. They're dog shit. They're worthless. Okay. Well. So... It's player records. I spent almost 20 hours in combat. That's insane. Boost attacks, boost strikes, counter edges. Yeah, we're missing 50 enemy types. There's no fucking way, dude. There's no way. We're missing 50 enemy types. 61 to be exact. There's no way. That's too many. We're short 49 treasure chests. Almost a little shy of 100 skits. 17 subquests, 100 items, 70 equipment, 20 weapons. There's only one camping point that we're missing, though. That's kind of wild, isn't it? There probably is post-game. Recipes. We're short 6 owls. We're short 16 astral flowers. And we're short 6 elite monster types. There's just no way. There's no way that's the end. There's no way. We got to keep going. We'll keep going on Thursday. We can't do it anymore tonight. But we'll keep going on Thursday. We're gonna have to we got to keep going forward. Unfortunately, I can't fast travel back to that spot. So I have to fight, which honestly I'm okay with fighting my way through this shit again. Did they respawn? Let's just check. And do I still have food buff up? Yeah. Oh, they didn't. Okay, well. Oh, yes they did. Okay, that's fine. I will fight my way through this on Thursday. We'll get back to where we were and continue forward. But we have to call it for tonight. All done. Definitely some wild stuff going on. But there is probably a post game. There probably is a post game something. At this rate, there's a little bit too much for me to assume that it can really have that much left in the game. But I think that there's more left in the game than, yeah. All right, that'll be it. I am headed out. Thank you guys for watching. As always, more of this on Thursday. And then Final Fantasy 16 for Friday, Saturday. Have a good rest of your day or night or whatever time it might be for you. And I will see you guys later.